Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use hits the balance in favor of fair use. It's a disclaimer that all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty, but this guy said he did a particular something, so y'all get to choose for yourself. Matthew 18, verse 6, but whoso shall fail one of these little ones, which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. Well, in Mark or Luke, it leaves out the part that which believe in me, it just says that about harming the kids. It's better than a millstone and get thrown in the depths of the sea. So maybe if God feels that way, maybe that's what we need to be doing to the perpetrators. Who's game with me on that? Isaiah 1:17, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, and plead the case of the widow. Get ready for this sound, y'all, because this means that this is a story. I did not know it had these sounds beforehand. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it to go down. It would not go down. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm laughing at myself. Duh. Laughing at myself for making that mistake. Sorry about that. Where is the sound here? I had it picked out, and now they got more sounds that's showing up, and I'm like, where did it go? Here we go. But today's story is about Reece A. Sorenson, 28, of Salem, Oregon. He abused his twins. You go back in there and put the banner for trigger warning. This is going to make everyone upset, and I hope that more people start writing letters to our officials if they let people like this out of jail. And you are right, Chris. Thanks for coming. Anyone that has a short fuse, don't watch, or if you're highly tempered. Without further ado, thanks so much for being here, Chris. Thanks to anybody and everybody that's here as well. Oh man, get ready. Take a deep breath. Oregon Middle School math teacher accused of starving, abusing his 6-week-old twins. I put 6 months, but 6-week-old, that's even worse than 6-month-old. 6 weeks old. Whoa. A middle school math teacher in Salem, Oregon, was arrested for allegedly starving and abusing his 6-week-old twins, according to authorities. Reece Sorenson, 28, who is a captain in the U.S. Army Reserve and a teacher at Parrish Middle School in Salem, was taken into custody on August the 13th, according to Salem Reporter. His two infants were found severely malnourished and bruised, according to KATU. They're just newly into the world, and now look how they're getting treated. Can somebody help us get that smile off his face, please? The baby girl, this is him, is charged in connection to the abuse of his two 6-week-old twin infants. The baby girl was brought to the hospital for difficulty swallowing. Get ready, this is trigger warning. With Sorenson allegedly admitting to investigator that he had stuffed a rag into the baby's mouth to stop her crying. Whoa. A medical examination revealed the girl had bruising and bleeding under her tongue. The baby boy had bruises around his eyes and multiple rib fractures, the report stated. Sorenson allegedly told investigators he squeezed the boy with his forearms and pressed his knuckles into the baby's stomach to get him to stop crying. You know how you stop a baby crying? Pick him up. Let's go. Can somebody sit down here for mercy? Oh, but he might be able to remove the rags when the baby couldn't. Okay. But tie his hands back when you go to do it, because I really believe that whatever they do to somebody else should go back to them. Both children were severely malnourished, with hospital staff reporting that they flinched when approaching for feeding. The bad thing is when he goes to jail, and he's in jail, right? He gets fed normally, okay? These babies were now malnourished. He wasn't feeding them. He probably, and the mother, she's working with the investigators and all that, but I don't know whether she was abused by him and afraid to tell, or I don't know what happened with that scenario. We'll find out more later, right? This is where the Parrish Middle School, he no longer works there. He went ahead and quit instead of having to be fired. Staff at Salem Hospital described them as ravenous and starving when they were finally eating. The middle school teacher's wife has corroborated all the allegations, KATU stated. Sorenson was placed on administrative leave with the Salem Kaiser School District on August 18th, according to the Salem Reporter. Why are you on administrative leave? Why? You're getting paid? This sorry crap is. Wow. He faces 5 charges of first-degree criminal mistreatment and 1 charge of unlawful use of a weapon for the alleged abuse, court records showed. Wow. The dad was released from prison on August 14th and has no contact order with the children. Excuse me, when were you put in? It says that it's put on administrative leave the 18th, but let's see, it was taken into custody the 13th. And you were let out of jail when? The 18th? Seriously? If that makes y'all mad, please put a 1 up in the. Whoa. He faces 5 charges of first degree criminal mistreatment and 1 charge of unlawful use of a weapon for the alleged abuse, which probably the wash rag which he had stuffed in the baby's mouth. I'm sorry to say you're ugly. And I'm talking about ugly because it's personality, okay? The dad was released from prison August 14th, just 1 day. He just heard he got out of jail the very next day? Do what? Seriously? Sorenson has claimed to have turned over a new leaf since the charges. Yeah, right. I know what I did, and I completely regret doing it, and I regretted doing it before all the consequences have started coming down on me. Like that's not who I am. That was a mistake. No, it's a mistake that you got caught. Okay, it's a mistake you got caught. You know better than harming your kids. You know better than stuffing a rag in their mouths. Excuse me. You know better. You know you're supposed to feed your kids. No, that's who you are. You showed who you really are. He claimed in those comments to be taking counseling classes and getting better at managing his anger. Sorenson's teaching license expires on August the 31st, according to Salem reported. I thought this other article said that he quit. According to this LinkedIn profile, Sorenson is a platoon leader in the U.S. Army Reserve. I clicked on the LinkedIn profile and it's gone. It says not available. So maybe he no longer there. Here is him right here. That is Salem Middle School teacher arrested for starving and abusing 6-week-old twins. Ay, ay, ay. He was a 28-year-old middle school math teacher and Army Reserve captain, has been arrested in Oregon on multiple charges after authorities say he abused and started 6-week-old twins, leaving both infants in critical condition. Y'all, if y'all had any kids that went to that school and he was kind of rough and even neglectful and argumentative and all that, I would give charges against him for that. If you got any students, I promise you, parents, stick up for your kids, get it done. He got such anger issues, he should not be around kids at all. Arrested Reece Sorenson. Reece Sorenson, a teacher at Parrish Middle School in Salem and a U.S. Army Reserve captain, was arrested on August the 13th, following a disturbing report from Salem Hospital. Authorities say the case began when one of the infants was brought into the hospital with difficulty swallowing and signs of trauma. Medical staff quickly identified both babies as severely malnourished and visible bruises and signs of physical abuse. Shocking allegations of infant abuse. Investigators say Sorenson admitted to stuffing a rag into the baby daughter's mouth to stop her from crying. The child was later found to have bruising and bleeding under her tongue, raising further concerns about the severity of the abuse. The twin brother was also found with bruises around the eyes and multiple rib fractures. Sorenson allegedly confessed to squeezing the boy with his forearms and pressing his knuckles into the infant's stomach in a misguided attempt to quiet the cry. Ravenous and starving, hospital staff says. Hospital staff reported that both babies were flinching when approached and described them as ravenous and starving once they were finally fed. According to court documents, the trauma suffered by the infants was both physical and psychological. Already flinching at 6 weeks old when anybody approached them. Already flinching, like scared to be approached. Wow. Wife confirms allegations. According to reports, Sorenson's wife corroborated the abuse allegations, further strengthening the case against him. Authorities have not disclosed whether she faces charges or is cooperating as a witness. I think you need charges because you knew this was going on and you did nothing. You did nothing. You need charges yourself because you did not report it. Administrative leave and charges. Sorenson was placed on administrative leave by the Salem Kaiser School District on August 18th, as reported. The district has not issued a public statement beyond confirming his employment status. He now faces 5 counts of first-degree criminal mistreatment and 1 count of unlawful use of a weapon, according to the New York Post. Legal proceedings and no contact order. Sorenson was briefly jailed and released on August 14th, but the court has issued a no contact order between him and his children. The investigation remains active and Child Protective Services are reportedly involved. Community reaction and ongoing investigation. The case has sparked shock and outrage within the Salem community, particularly among parents at Parrish Middle School. Many are calling for stricter screening and mental health support for educators. Authorities have not released further details about the future custody or welfare of the children, but the investigation is ongoing. So here's some good questions. What are your thoughts about this on this tragic case? Should school systems monitor the mental health of staff more closely? I think if they know that he abused and he said he abused the kid, why are you giving him administrative leave? Why are you paying him? Right? That's my dilemma, okay? And then we go over here, show this one first. This is updated Parrish math teacher resigns See, this is where he resigns, okay? August 25th. He resigns after being charged with abusing, starving his 6-week-old children. So, yay, he now resigned. So he is not going to be getting paid anymore. A Parrish Middle School teacher is facing multiple felony charges alleging he physically abused and starved his 6-week-old twins, according to court records. Reece A. Sorenson, 28 of Salem, was arrested August 13th after staff at Salem Hospital treating his 2 children determined they were bruised and severely malnourished, according to a police affidavit. One has multiple broken ribs, not fractured, but broken. Sorenson was a math teacher at Parrish Middle School. He was placed on administrative leave. Let's go further down there. Sorenson was, I guess he's currently a captain in the U.S. Army and recently returned from a deployment, according to Stephen Bomer, spokesperson for the Oregon Military Department. The Army's Human Resources Unit did not immediately respond to a call about the military's awareness of the charges. He faces 5 charges of first-degree criminal mistreatment and 1 charge of unlawful use of a weapon for the alleged abuse, according to the Marion County Circuit Court records. Sorenson is scheduled to appear in court for a hearing Thursday, September the 4th. Okay. A Salem police affidavit shows he was originally accused by arresting officers of 2 counts of third-degree assault and 1 count of strangulation. He is also accused of criminal mistreatment, the document shows. Sorenson was released from the Marion County Jail August 14th due to his charges not meeting the criteria to lodge him there longer. According to Sergeant Jeremy Schwab, spokesperson for the Marion County Sheriff's Office, what was released due to charges not meeting the criteria to lodge him there longer? What criteria? I mean, so he didn't meet the criteria for him to stay in jail? Do what? You just basically almost killed your kids. And he, the day after, he didn't meet the criteria to keep him in jail any longer? Can y'all believe that crock of bull? That's the Marion County Sheriff's Office said, spokesperson said that for that sheriff's office. That is something terribly wrong with this picture. As a condition of his release, he was ordered to have no contact with his children. I know what he did, and I don't want to hear anything about him saying that. Sorenson's charges came days after August 10th hospital visit when Sorenson and his wife brought their twin babies to Salem Hospital after one struggled with swallowing. Y'all know why she struggled with swallowing. That rag was. According to the affidavit, Sorenson told police he stuffed a rag into the daughter's mouth to stop her from crying and screaming because he was tired and at wit's end. After removing the rag, he tried to feed her, but she couldn't swallow the milk. You reckon? You reckon, huh? At the hospital, staff found bruising and blood in the child's mouth, the affidavit said. In interviewing Reece, he also said he has an anger problem and gets very easily frustrated with the twins. Police wrote in the affidavit. Okay, how is he even around the other kids if he gets easily angered with kids, right? Hospital staff reported the findings to the Oregon Department of Human Services, which then contacted the Salem Police Department. Police and Human Services staff noticed bruising in Sorenson's son's eyes, which were bloodshot and had red spotting, according to the affidavit. Sorenson and his wife told police it was because the baby had colic and had been vomited. Oh, you reckon the way he was vomiting, you broke his ribs? Excuse me? Colic? You're blaming colic instead of the abuse? You stood up for your husband when you saying he had colic and been vomiting. You're standing up for him. While examining the bruising on the child's eyes, hospital staff found more injuries. A pediatric radiologist at Oregon Health and Science University examined images of the child and determined he had 10 broken ribs. Wow, 10. A doctor at Salem Hospital told police both babies were severely malnourished when staff fed them formula. They were ravenous and starving, she told police. The doctor said both babies looked away from staff while being fed and flinched when people get close to their faces, according to the affidavit. So they wasn't even used to the mother's tender touch in the face, I guess, because they didn't like nobody getting close to the face, right? So how did she touch them? I mean, you normally would have the mother's touch and love and you're rubbing the child's cheek. So it makes me think that she wasn't lovingly doing things for the kids either. Sorenson told a Salem police detective that he would forcefully push his knuckles on one child's stomach as a way to release the child's gas. He also said he squeezed one of the babies between 5 and 10 times before his wife stopped him, the affidavit said. The wife told police Sorenson is very rough and aggressive with the babies and does not feel that Reece is safe to be alone with the babies. Thank God she stood up and said that, right? But why didn't you say something sooner, huh? Jake Sunderland, spokesperson for the Department of Human Services, said federal and state privacy laws do not allow the department to disclose details about any child abuse investigation, including who currently has custody of the children. Both babies have been discharged from Salem Hospital, according to the hospital spokeswoman, Lisa Wood. Sorenson worked as an instructional assistant at Leslie Middle School from October 2021 until December 2024. So you know Sorenson, which Sorenson? He did also, I guess. He received a restricted teaching license on December 18, 2024, according to state licensing records. That's a license allowing someone who has not completed a teacher training program to work as a teacher for a limited time. You mean he didn't complete it? Sorenson's teacher license expired August the 31st, state records show. Okay, so let me go here and show y'all this as well. This is one of the final orders of discipline, but I could not find his name in here. And this is an Oregon.gov at Oregon.gov final orders pages. Let me see if I can copy that. So this is teachers and administrators subject to discipline. This is Oregon Revised Statute 342.203 requires the Teacher Standards and Practices Commission to circulate a list of all teachers and administrators whose licenses have been suspended, revoked, or who have been reprimanded or placed on probation. If the decision to discipline has been appealed, the teacher or administrator's name shall not be placed on the list until such decision has been sustained by the Court of Appeals or until the appeal has been dismissed. And this is, if you look at this and see the number, look how many pages of teachers, the list of teachers. Okay, it's got a list, just a short list right here, right? But it goes on to 208 pages. Okay, and it said it is a commission. If the commission finds the charges against an educator are proven, any or all of the following disciplinary actions may be taken: issue a public reprimand, place a person on probation for a period not to exceed 4 years and subject to such conditions as the commission considers necessary, suspend the license of the teacher or administrator for a period not to exceed 1 year, revoke the license of the teacher or administrator, or revoke the privilege to apply for a license. And that's how that goes there. I'm fixing to give y'all the link for that and the discussion. Hey, Bucket List, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. So let me share this link with y'all on the page real quick. When y'all see the list in the Oregon, I go ahead and put it into a banner as well. Create a banner right quick. Let's throw it on the bottom. Now here it is down here. Y'all see it going at the bottom of the screen? There's the link. So be sure to check it out. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for everyone coming in I'm going to say God bless each and every one of y'all and remember the children. I'm really mad and angry at the mom. She knew, but she didn't tell. She said, he's been doing this, right? The kids already learned that they could not trust their parents. These two infants at 6 weeks old already came into the world and were significantly abused and tortured. Stand up for our kids, protect our kids. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, I would have revoked it completely. I wouldn't have waited for him to do it, right? I wouldn't. I don't think he needed to be on administrative leave either, right? Much love to all. God bless each and every one of y'all. This is so hard to tell when you go and you have to share these stories, especially. I think I might have thought that it was 6 months old, but they were actually 6 weeks old. And yet, when the nurses were feeding them in the hospital, y'all heard me say that the babies look away from who's holding them, so they're not used to being nurtured. They flinch when you come close to them. So they've already learned from the very beginning you cannot trust anyone to approach them. I pray that these babies can be healed. I hope these babies won't have lasting effects from the abuse that they endured, like her breathing, when she had that rag in her mouth, and her tongue bleeding. She could have repercussions with breathing. She could have a little bit of scar tissue and brain damage now from him doing that. Okay. There's so much that could be going on with these two kids' healths, and might be something for the rest of their lives. Look at that baby; 10 of his ribs were broken by the daddy. And say God bless him. Continue to pray for these kids. Y'all see something? Say something.